Okay, recording in progress. Good afternoon, Daniel. Today we are going to study There Should Be a Law. This is the session 4 and the unit 15. The topic we are going to start right now is the first activity is about modal verbs, must, have to, and should. As you can see, grammar focus, modal verbs, must, have to, and should. Definition. We use have to, must, should, plus infinity to talk about obligation, things that are necessary to do, or to give advice about things that are a good idea to do. Must and have to are both used for obligation and are often quite similar. They are both followed by the infinitive. I must go now. I have to go now. This is the same meaning, Daniel. Okay?
Okay.
Are these exactly the same? Well, almost. Almost. We often use must for more personal opinions about what is necessary to do. And have to for what something in authority has said it's necessary to do. I must remember, this is an example. I must remember to get a present for Daisy. This is my opinion. You have to look after their hair regularly. Dogs per se so. Do you have to wear a tie for school? Asking about school rules. Which verb do people use more? For example, have to is more frequent in conversation. Most is used more in formal writing. For example, in written notice. Passenger must fasten their seat belts. Do they change in form for I, you, he, she, it, etc.? Have changes in the third person singular he, she, it, has. But most doesn't change. It is modal verb and modal don't change. Do you understand this? Modal verb never change independent of the subject pronoun, okay?
Okay.
It's not the same situation with have or has, because have is for the rest of the person, but in the third person we use has, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I think I've heard have got to. Is that correct? Yes, we use both have got to for obligation and had better for advice and lot in speaking. You've got to be careful with a cat. You'd better get something a bit quieter. I'd better go. I mustn't miss the helicopter. So they are not used in formal writing. They are not using formal writing. This is a question. No, there is something very important about must and have to. The positive form are very similar in meaning, but the negative form are completely different. This is something different. You mustn't forget. Don't forget you have no choice. If you don't like him, you don't have to see him again. This is something clear, okay, Daniel?
See, yes, it's
Okay,
clear for me.
okay. There is no obligation to see him again, but you have a choice. You have a choice. If you want to see him or see her, in this case, because you are a male, yeah, you need to decide what to do. Here is an example you can remember. In a non-smoking area, you mustn't smoke. But in a smoking area, you don't have to smoke, but you can if you want to do, if you want to do it that. All right, I mustn't forget that. No, you mustn't. Okay, let's look at advice. Telling people what you think it's a good idea. We use should for advice or making suggestion, and must for strong advice. You must go for a walk with the dog at least once a day. Maybe you should go for a coffee or lunch and see how you feel. And see how you feel. You shouldn't leave it on the street. I think I've heard people use should in other ways, like he should be here in a minute. In a minute, that's not advice, is it? No, that's thinking about what is likely or probably will look at that use another day. We use modal verbs in different way. These examples explained it. I see. So I should think about one use at a time. Yes, exactly. You mustn't get confused by too many use at once. Any doubt that you have, Daniel?
No, I'm okay with the explanation.
Okay, and the exercises and the examples. The use of the example is, or practice the example is a very useful way to understand better, because English is like mathematics. If you practice a lot, you will learn by heart the procedure or maybe the grammar structure of a sentence, okay? Because we have been studying must, mustn't, and have to, and even has to. Is the way that we can use modal verbs. The next activity is about a video, but you will have the opportunity to watch by yourself, okay, and at home. Grammar focus, that question. Let's move to this. Let's move on. That question. Okay, grammar focus, that question we have here. Can you read, please, Daniel?
Okay. Tag question grammar. A tag question is a special construction in English. It is a statement followed by a mini question. We use tag question to ask for confirmation. They mean something like, is that right? Or do you agree? They are very common in English. Question tags are short questions at the end of the statements. They are mainly used in speech when we want to confirm that something is true or not, or to encourage a reply
yeah.
From the person we are speaking to.
Okay. Question tags.
Question tags are formed with the auxiliary or modal verb from the statement and the appropriate subject.
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 Appropriate subject, okay.
Appropriate subject. A positive statement is followed by a negative question tag. Jack is from Spain, isn't he? May can speak English. Can't see? Can she?
Can she?
A negative statement is followed by a positive question tag. They aren't funny, are they?
Yeah.
He shouldn't say things like that, should he? When the verb in the main sentence is in the present simple, we form the question tag with do, does. You play the guitar, don't you?
The guitar.
The guitar. Alison likes tennis, doesn't she?
Yeah.
If the verb is in the past simple, we use did. They went to the cinema, didn't they? She studied in New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand, didn't she?
How do we translate, or how can we interpret or translate the final of the sentence that finished with a question? How can we translate that? ¿Cómo lo traducimos al español ahí?
Excuse me, what's the question?
How can we translate or interpret the end of the question? For example, if you say, you play the guitar, don't you? How can we translate this in English or in Spanish?
En español es como para confirmar,
Para confirmar.
como para decir, realmente tocas la guitarra.
¿Verdad? ¿Verdad?
Ajá, o de verdad
Así.
lo haces.
Tú tocas la guitarra, ¿verdad? A Alison le gusta el tenis, ¿verdad? Entonces así lo interpretamos, ¿verdad?
Ok.
Como verdad, así es.
Okay. When the statement contains a word with a negative meaning, the question tag needs to be positive. He hardly ever speaks, does he?
Yeah.
They rarely eat in restaurant, do they?
Yeah.
That question from opinions, affirmative statement plus negative tag. Health insurance is really expensive, isn't it? There are lots of criminals in the city, aren't there?
Yeah.
Graffiti makes everything look ugly, doesn't it? College should provide daycare, shouldn't they? A negative statement plus affirmative tag.
Yeah.
Child care isn't cheap, is it? There aren't enough police, are there? People don't care about our city, do they? You can't find a affordable child care, can you?
All right. It's something very easy to understand the procedure to learn by heart all of these expressions that are very useful in English, Daniel. And if you try to practice all of these expressions, would be better for you if you practice with a person, maybe a native speakers, or a person who can speak English here in Managua. I don't know if you have the opportunity to chat with somebody who can speak English. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, this is
Yes, I have the opportunity to chat with someone to speak English. I have a lot of friends that works in a call center.
Okay. And they have the fluency, the enough fluency in order to establish a conversation with you and practice all of this expression, because they are customary to listen native speakers, yeah, every day.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to that question example. No, tax question example. This is. Okay, that question examples. Here we have verb tense, sentence, positive sentence, and negative tags. And the next one is negative sentence plus a positive tags. Okay. The present be, she is American, isn't she? She is an American, is she? Can you observe the difference? At the beginning, this sentence is in affirmative. But the tag question is in negative. But in the next one, she is an American is in a negative expression, but the tag question is in affirmative. Yeah. Can you observe the difference?
Yes,
Okay.
I can observe.
Okay. Present simple. Oops. You study English, don't you? You don't study English, do you? In your case, how will be, Daniel? You study English, don't you? How would you respond me?
Yes, I am.
Past simple. You were at home, weren't you? You weren't at home, were you? Past continuous. Tom was watching TV, wasn't he? Tom wasn't watching TV, was he? Present perfect. He has written 5 letters, hasn't he? He hasn't written 5 letters, has he? Past perfect. You had had lunch, hadn't you? You hadn't had lunch, had you? And he'll read this book, won't he? He won't read this book, will he? Modal verbs. He can read this book, can he? He can read this book, can he? Okay. All of these expressions are very useful. I consider all of them are very important to know. In class activity, this is a new law. A new law. What is happening? I don't know what happened.
It's not charging.
I'm not charging the internet. I don't know what happened.
I have the read here.
Okay, can you do it?
Okay, a new law. Discuss the problem in your community and come up with answer to each situation. What is the problem and how does it affect your community? What can be done to help solve it? Who might disagree with you and how will you convince them that your law is a good idea? I think a student in our town should be required to wear school uniform. A student shouldn't be permitted to wear the latest fashion because this promotes jealous and competition. Also, a student will be able to concentrate on their studies better if.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to the reading. How serious is plagiarism? Plagiarism.
Es plagio.
Es plagio, exactamente. ¿Cuán serio es el plagio, verdad? ¿Cuán serio es el plagio? Como le pasó al Julio Iglesias. Julio Iglesias plagió una canción de Arnaldo Zúñiga y lo multaron bastante feo.
Bueno.
Sí, creo que le cobraron como más de $1 millón. Una canción que se llamaba Lo mejor de tu vida. Lo mejor de tu vida me lo lleva. Esa canción era del nicaragüense Arnaldo Zúñiga. Y Julio Iglesias la plagió. Okay, reading how serious is a plagiarism? Can you read, please?
Okay, how serious is the plagiarism? Read the title and first paragraph of the article. What do you think the word plagiarism means? In 2002, a biology teacher in Kansas, a state in the American Midwest, made national and even international news after Christine Pelton discovered that 28 of her 118 students had plagiarized part of a major project. She gave them failing grades. Although this was the school policy, the students' parents complained. The school board directs Miss Pelton to change the punishment. They told her that 600 points should be taken from the offenders rather than the added 1,800 points. Miss Pelton resigned in protest.
Yeah.
Why did this become such a significant story? Perhaps it is because so many people feel strongly about what is right and wrong. The incident raises some important question. What is the plagiarism? How serious it is? Is it the simplest from the plagiarism occurs when someone copies material without giving credit to the source. However, there are also more serious forms, such as when a student pays someone else to write an essay. Some people claim that copying is necessary to well in school. They have realized that their own work are not as good as someone else. Another common argument is that everyone does it, so it's not a big deal. In fact, it has been learned that even some highly respected figures, including Martin Luther King Jr., have plagiarized.
Okay.
Also, some people find reasons to justify plagiarism. Others feel the issue to clear cut. They feel it is morally wrong and consider it stealing theft of idea rather than money. These people believe that students who plagiarize benefit unfairly. They receive a better grade than they deserve.
Yeah.
So what about the incident in Kansas? What the original punishment to deserve, to severe?
Severe.
Uh, do teachers have the right to tell students and parents what is right or wrong? Miss Pelton will probably say that the job of a teacher is to do exactly that.
Exactly. Yeah. This is something moral. How to create a conscience in order to respect the property, maybe the writers. There is a law that respect anything that you create by yourself, and you have the opportunity to go to and register the maybe something that you have created or maybe have written. This is something serious, and maybe if you don't respect the property of something maybe that have been creating in a written story, for example, maybe you will be punished with a jail. This is something complicated, a little bit complicated. I don't know what happened. This is something. This lesson is too short. Can you observe this, Daniel?
Yes, we're finished, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed this this small lesson, because it's something short, and I consider you can do the exercises at once we finish the lesson, okay? Because it's
Okay.
only one evaluation. Exercise 1 in S4, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you for attending to the class, and we will see the next weekend. Is that
Yes,
okay?
teacher. It's
Just
okay.
just in on Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday. I think there is the final 2 lesson.
The final 2 lessons. No, today is the 4th.
4.
Yeah. The final 2 lessons the next weekend.
The
So,
next weekend.
okay. The idea is that you can do the exercise. Please do it right now. Maybe at the end of the class, try to prepare for the exam. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Thank you for attending to the class. Okay. Okay. Thank
Thank you,
you.
teacher. Good night.
Good night, man.